This is Adrian Kennedy with FM104's Phone Show, Wednesday, the 4th of July, 2012. Next on the programme tonight, without trying to alarm anyone with children listening to the show tonight, there is a fairly good chance that there is a convicted sex offender living in your area, or at least near your area. Of course, you don't know who that sex offender is or where exactly they live. But if you did, would it make your life any different? What would you do if you found out that a convicted sex offender was in your area? Do you think we have a right to know these things? Well, a listener by the name of Carmen, who lives in Boston in the United States and listens to the show on her iPhone app, which you can do as well, no matter where you are in the world, got in contact with us about this topic. She says that in her area, there is a website, and the website is called familywatchdog.us, where anyone can log on and look at a map of their area and see exactly what sex offenders are living near her. It'll show you their names, their ages, a photo, the offence they were convicted of, and when they were convicted. On the map, a little red box even shows pretty much where they live. Now, Carmen says that it's about time we had this same thing here in Ireland. Here's what Carmen wrote. And by the way, if you want to write to us about anything, phoneshow@fm104.ie is our email address. Phoneshow@fm104.ie. Adrian, says this lady, it's Carmen. I listened to your show via the iPhone app from Boston. I listened to your chat show talking about child abuse recently. In Boston, we have a really awesome service called Family Watchdog, where we can log on to a map of our area and see where the sex beasts are living. I can't believe that Ireland doesn't have this system. We know precisely where these sex beasts live and what they look like. Please lobby your government for this. And that's from a lady called Carmen. And what I want to find out from you, if you log on to the FM104 Facebook page, okay, you can do that right now. You log on to Facebook and just search out Dublin's FM104. If you're not already a follower on that page, you just click like on the page and away you go. And on our Facebook page, we are putting up a link to photographs, screenshots from this website. Now, the thing is, you need an American address, so you can't really go into it yourself. Now, you can go onto the website yourself, but you can't log in without an American address, which we were able to get earlier on. Anyway, here's the thing. On that website, you will be able to see, firstly, on our Facebook page, should I say, you'll be able to see, firstly, the map and what the map looks like. And then secondly, one of the photographs with the information about the sex offender. And the question that we're asking you is, do we need a website like this here in Ireland? It operates kind of on a Google Maps thing, so it'll bring you up a certain area of the country, and there's all little red dots on the screen to indicate where these different sex offenders are living. And then when you click on the little red box, it brings up his picture, it brings up his convictions, it tells you pretty much everything you need to know. So if you log on to our Facebook page right now, the FM104 Facebook page, you will see the link to which will bring you to see the photographs, okay? And we want to know whether or not we should have a website like this here in Ireland. Okay, so you go onto our Facebook page, follow the link, and you will see this is the website we are talking about for tracking sex offenders. So all the little dots that you see are where the sex offenders live. And my God, there's a lot of them on this particular map. And then the next page down is a screenshot of what the guy might look like, his name, and what his crime is, basically. And we want to know, should we have a website like this, or is having a website like this not just going to wreck your head? To think that there are actually quite a lot of sex offenders around. I'd like to hear from you. 6797104 is our telephone number. Do you think that we need a website like that here in Ireland? So once again, log on to the FM104 Facebook page and follow the link where you will see an example of what this website is like. All right? And give me a call right now. 6797104 is our telephone number. So once again, I'll read the email that I got from Carmen. She says, I listened to your show via the internet on my iPhone in Boston. I listened to your chat show talking about child abuse recently. In Boston, we have a really awesome service called Family Watchdog, where we can log onto a map of our area and see where the sex beasts are living. I can't believe that Ireland doesn't have this system. We know precisely where they are living and what they look like. Please lobby your government for this. And that's from a lady called Carmen. Barry, you're on FM 104. How are you, Barry?
How are you doing, Adrian?
Grand, thank you. Now, Barry, what did you want to say on this?
Well, if we're going to have criminality on websites, let's put all criminality on websites.
All criminality?
Yeah, the whole lot.
Where do you draw the line?
What? That's the point.
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Well, do you draw it at sex offenders, or do you draw it at fellows who have kind of run over people, or do you draw it at people who've actually infringed the law in various ways? And where do you draw the line?
Oh, in other words, you think that this is a ridiculous suggestion?
No, I don't actually. Where do you draw the line? I mean, if you put your record online, and you put my record online, let the neighbours have a good look at who they're living beside.
So, I mean, yeah, but you think if you have a criminal conviction of any sort?
Sure, yeah.
If you've any sort of a criminal conviction?
Absolutely.
Your picture should be up on this?
No, not your picture, but, that's where you live, that's what you've done, and that's what you've been charged with, and that's what you've been convicted of.
Do you not think that's a bit over the top, like every single conviction?
Why not?
So somebody who mugged somebody, they're going to be up there. Somebody who robbed a shop, are they going to be up there?
Well, yeah, sure.
Everybody who's convicted of crime.
If you're convicted, you're there.
All right, stay there for 1 second. 6797104. Now, Joan, you're on FM 104. How are you, Joan?
How are you?
Now, Joan, you don't like the idea of sites like this.
No, I think there are precautions. First of all, if we go by what that gentleman has said, we would have one in every area, so we'd never be able to relax. And I'm not talking about sex offenders, if he's talking about people who commit a crime. If there is a sex offender in every area, then the Gardaí aren't doing their job, because they would be on a register for a start. And if all sex offenders who are obnoxious, if they were to be kept in jail, when they're not kept in jail forever, that means they have to be rehabilitated. Some of them may recover, but they have to be placed somewhere. So no matter where you put them, if you're always going to say where they are, society would never relax. Now, they're not going to relax because they know a sex offender is probably around the corner, because some of us, as we are in our homes tonight, we're not sure if there is one down the road. So far...
And do you think we're better off not knowing if there's one down the road?
To a certain degree, if the Gardaí are doing their job, that they have them on a register and they're monitoring them.
Okay, now let me give you an example, right? I'm actually on the live website itself now, okay? Yeah. I'm using a friend's American address.
Well, of course, we're dealing with America.
No, I know that, but let me just give you an example, okay? Yeah. So I'm looking at a map of, I think it's some place in Kansas, okay? And on this map, and you can see this on our website, but I'm actually on the live page, right? So I click on a red dot because it's near where I live.
Yes.
Right, so I'm clicking on the red dot. And then it brings up the name Ashcraft Craig Ashcraft. Okay?
Yep.
And then I see his name and where he supposedly lives, a photograph of him. And then I can go into his convictions. And in 2003, at the age of 19, with a 14-year-old, he was convicted of unlawful voluntary sexual relations.
Yes.
Okay, so that's just him. And then I go back to the map again, and I pick on another fella here who lives close by. So he's another little red dot here. So we'll have a look at this fella. This is Terence William Haas. He's a dodgy-looking character. And then I go on to his convictions. Aggravated criminal sodomy and sodomy with a child. Now,
horrendous.
All horrendous. Now, the point being, I now know that this fella lives just down the road from me, and I know what he looks like. Is that not a good thing, Joan?
So society becomes a whole vigilante group. And society would ask the question that if these guys are a threat, what are they doing out living in a house? So therefore, I believe the question has to be, if you relate it in this country, a small country, around every corner will live one of these people. The few, naturally we hope, because they're going to be put into a house, maybe around the corner, that they have some kind of a chance of being rehabilitated. Otherwise, the Gardaí...
Okay, so your point is that if society has chosen to release somebody back into the community,
yes,
after paying their due to society with whatever conviction or whatever time they spent in prison or whatever, that should be enough. Is that what you're saying? And with the guards keeping an eye on them.
Well, with the guards keeping an eye on them, but of course, I mean, when you read and know of the horrific cases that take place, we sometimes wonder how any of them can be released in society. But we are told by the experts that some can be rehabilitated. Now, they're the people that we have to watch. I imagine in America that you've got a lot of more dangerous people around. Otherwise, society would become a regular vigilante group.
Okay, but say, for example, would you like... this guy was 34.
Yeah.
The victim, this is another guy I'm on to now, right? The victim, he was 34, the victim was 13, and he was convicted of indecent solicitation of a child and forcing a child to submit to a sex act. Now,
so,
the fact is this guy has been released from prison.
Yes.
And you're saying that people have no right to know that a fella who indecently solicited a child and forced a 14-year-old to commit a sex act, and he was 34 at the time.
Yeah.
You think we've no right to know he's living next door to us?
Well, we would have a right to know if he still is a danger to society. So we go along to our local, we vigilante, our local guards station and say, what's this fella living around the corner from me? I mean, it doesn't make sense that willy-nilly we can have a sex offender living around the corner.
And you obviously feel, as somebody said in a text, Graham texted in to say, there was a case in America where a paediatrician was beaten to within an inch of his life because his neighbours thought he was a paedophile.
Yeah.
People get things wrong and innocent people are hurt. And that obviously is one of your concerns.
Yeah, there would. It would be absolutely horrendous, and it could lead to anywhere. First of all, not one mother would sleep well at night. I mean, whole society would break down because living in...
Okay, Barry, let me just go back to you for 1 second. And the point she's making is, in some cases we can know too much. That parents wouldn't sleep at night if they knew that there was some fella living within the neighbourhood that committed a sex crime. What would you say to that?
If it's a matter of record, that's it. He's convicted.
Yeah, no, I know it's a matter of record, but it's not necessarily... Well, in this country at this moment, it's not a matter of record that he's living 200 yards from you.
No, but that's easily established. But I mean, if it's a matter of rumour or innuendo, that's different.
Yes, but how do you decide which it is? I mean, you know, like life could never be normal, and
life isn't normal.
No, it's not normal. We know that, but it's not normal if a guy who still is a danger to society.
Well, how do you know he is?
Well, we have to have it determined by the courts, by the Gardaí.
Exactly. So it's actually on the website. It's a matter of record, Joan.
Yeah, but a lot of... No, you don't give that much information always. So that would mean that the guards are needed. We'd all be doing our own monitoring.
It's a matter of public record anyway.
Yeah, but you said a while ago, which didn't make sense, that anybody who might even do a crime should be noted. Should that be ridiculous? Should we have one around every corner?
Hang on a second. Let's be clear in this one. Exactly what I said a few minutes ago was that why not put up everybody's record? That's what I said.
Okay, and but you're taking that to the ridiculous extent then, are you not?
No, I'm not.
Well, the fella who got done 10 years ago for drink driving, you have him on...
Hang on a second. There's a difference between the Road Traffic Act and criminality.
Yeah, but you know what you'll have...
The Road Traffic Act is not a matter of criminality.
Okay, stay there for 1 second. Let me bring in some more calls on this. Frank, you're on FM104. How are you, Frank?
How are you doing?
Good, Frank. Now, by the way, if anybody wants to see what this website is like, just log on to the FM104 Facebook page, and you can click the link there and you'll see 2 screenshots that we've taken from this website. One that shows the map with little dots on it, and then when you click on one of the little dots, you get the name and the details of the particular person. What did you want to say on this, Frank?
I just want to ask Joan there, the lady was there.
Yeah.
If she had young grandchildren,
Yeah.
would you like someone like that close to your daughter or your son?
No, I wouldn't. And at the moment, I don't know who might live around the corner that might.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Joan, very much. But at the same time, these boys have to be targeted.
Yeah,
These have to be under surveillance 24/7.
Yeah, but we're not. Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying, but we're not the police force. We can't be in control of the monitoring, the decision making.
And the point she's making is that if somebody is released back into society, then it is up to the police force to monitor them.
Exactly, because you know what will happen,
At the end of
Adrian.
the day, the guards have enough work. They can't be going around chasing every child molester in Dublin.
Yes, but you can't make society the revengeful society or vigilante society.
Joan, if the thing was the shoe was on the other foot and one of them attacked your child, would you be saying this now?
No,
your grandkids.
Wait, now, I would be enlisting from my local guard station. If there is a guy who's presumed still dangerous, he shouldn't be free.
Yeah. Oh, well, I agree with you there. I live in Ballymun.
Yep.
And your man Larry Murphy was in Ballymun.
Yeah.
Do you think the people were told in Ballymun by the guards in Ballymun?
Yeah, but
they didn't even know.
Yeah, but you'll find he was monitored. Otherwise, you're going to prevent.
Yeah, but how come people wasn't told in Ballymun?
Oh, no, but sorry. The question that I'm asking, the question that we're asking tonight, Frank, is: would it be helpful if we had a map like this, or would it not lead to just an outrageous witch hunt?
No, some parts of it, yeah, definitely. But
I mean, if God forbid, God forbid that you should.
Pictured.
But hang on, God forbid you should even resemble somebody who would be pictured on this website. And I gave the example of a paediatrician in America beaten to within an inch of his life because he looked like somebody.
Well, that's the unfortunate thing. It's like every day of the week over here you hear people getting shot because they look like somebody.
Yeah, but I mean that's.
Yeah, I agree with you there, all right. But if people are sitting down genuinely living in their own area and they're looking on this on the laptop, sure to God they're not going to forget a face like this.
Yeah, but I think there's a reason why we don't have that. I think things are monitored differently here. I mean, we're a very much smaller country than America, and they have defined very dangerous people.
We have very dangerous people living amongst us as well, Joan. Don't be under any illusion.
Ireland is nearly as bad as America now. The only thing about Ireland here is it's all shoved under the carpet. You don't hear as much as what's going on.
Yes, but we haven't that great number of cases to date where...
That's because you don't hear of it. It's all, as I said, it's all kept hush-hush.
And in fairness, Joan, it's a much smaller country as well, but it is a much smaller country. But would it not be, let's imagine at this moment, I don't know how many people are on the sex offenders register here in Ireland, but I should imagine quite a few.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, you wouldn't be counting them on your hands anyway.
No, absolutely not. I agree with you. And these people are living somewhere.
Yes,
okay?
Of course.
Some may have fled the country, some...
yourself, Adrian, if you have young kids there yourself, and you knew there was somebody there, sure to God you'd be terrified to let your kids out.
But this is one of the points that Joan is making.
Yeah.
That is one of the points that she's making. And I do understand what she's getting at here.
Yeah.
That you can't live your life constantly looking over your shoulder. Oh Jesus, that's him. That's the fella. That's him there.
Do you know in your own heart and soul? And see what Joan said there a few minutes ago. People pinpointing. It's not pinpointing. It has to be accurate. If you're looking at him on the laptop. That's one thing, and a lot of people over here in Ireland are not stupid. They're very good at faces.
Yeah, but maybe they're deliberately not putting them on a laptop or on a website here because it would be revenge all around.
No, I don't think so, Joan. I really don't think so. I think they definitely should be put up. Definitely showing where they're staying and the areas that they're actually in, and people be warned.
All right. Well, sorry for interrupting you. Can I ask you one question? If you heard that 2 doors from you lived the very guy we're talking about, right? Yeah. Would you, as an ordinary guy, would you want to do something to that guy?
Well, I wouldn't in a way, but at the same time, I wouldn't like him near my area because there's a lot of young children in this area.
What would you do if you heard in your area, and say you had a brother and he heard there was another guy in his area and I'm living in another area? What would we all do, tell me?
I'll tell you exactly. You campaign and get him out of the area.
But then he just moves to somewhere else, Frank.
Other people, if he's moved to other area, let the other people know that he's actually in the area.
Yeah, but again, Frank, and I understand what you and don't pick this up the wrong way, because some people hear me saying things I'm not saying. But the point is that when somebody commits a crime and they get convicted, and they do their time in prison, when they are released back into society, if they're a sex offender, they're on the sex offenders register. But are they not entitled then to live a life?
Yeah.
Or do they just get?
If they really meant that they're actually going to give up, Adrian.
No, but what I'm saying is, you're saying you hound them out of your area.
No,
you hound them on to somewhere else.
You would campaign to get them out of the area, not physical. Not going into...
Yeah, you can't... You campaign to get them out of the area.
Oh, yeah.
They move on. They move to somewhere else. You let the next crowd know where he lives. They campaign to get him out. Where does that end?
He's actually out of the country.
So that's only passing the problem on to another country.
Yeah, well then let them sort it out.
But sure, you have to notify if there's any sex offenders going to another country. No, I think the whole kernel of the problem is that whatever their situation is, whatever they've done, whatever the time they've served, they have to be monitored 1,000% to see if they're safe. And
you believe that monitoring should be done by the police force rather than the people?
Oh, absolutely. And rehabilitated within sight, within guidance. I mean, absolutely. You can't...
Okay, stay there.
I honestly don't know, Joan. No disrespect to you, I don't know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But the guards, I'm telling you, the guards have so much on their hands. If Larry Murphy was able to come into Ballymun and nobody even knew he was in Ballymun...
You'd want to have a special force dealing with these people if that's the case. And as I said, America's such a large country to probably have enough...
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you 1,000,000%.
Sorry, Frank, just to cut across you for a second. You mentioned a very good case, Larry Murphy, and you're saying that he came into Ballymun and people didn't know he was in Ballymun, right?
No, nobody was told.
But the point I would make about somebody like Larry Murphy is that fella has been hounded into hiding.
Yeah.
Well, that's good enough for him. I honestly think that's good enough.
But is it good enough for him? Because now nobody knows where he is. Well, I'd like to think.
He's on the
I'd like to know. I'd like to think that the guards know where he is. But
Jesus, they hadn't got a clue. They lost him in town.
But you're Adrian, there was a mistaken identity there 100 times a day. Which is
this boy was actually chased out of Ballymun, and I know that for a fact. It was him.
So do you think then that no matter what their case is, no matter how much they're rehabilitated, they should never be let out of jail? Is that the alternative?
No, if they show animosity, if they really showed animosity, just believe me, I've met some people in my time, and I'll tell you one thing. There's some psychos walking our streets in Ireland alone.
Oh, I'm sure.
But the likes of them boys that is going in here an innocent child that can't defend themselves or talk for themselves, and them dirty animals like destroying a child.
Yeah, but
they shouldn't. I'll be honest with you. If I was a judge, if I had the power to do it, I would take them out and execute them.
Well, that's good, but we either don't let them out at all, but if I thought that they weren't being monitored and all of that, sure, it wouldn't be worthwhile living our lives anyway.
If the thing was to do that, you want to be monitoring half of Ireland.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, let's be out straight. I mean, they're not only going to be out there monitoring sex offenders.
Yeah, but these would be people who have been caught. We don't know how many are sex offenders that have never been caught. So you're living in a world of...
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I definitely agree with what you're saying. But at the end of the day, it definitely should be pinpointed and shown and made it crystal clear that his picture is so clear that you cannot make a mistake.
Yeah, but those guys should be still in jail and never released. If that's
Jesus, Joan, I agree with you 1,000,000%.
Yeah, but you have to
never get out of prison.
Yeah, but you have to have a certain percentage who have been monitored, who have spent their time in prison, who have been told they can be rehabilitated. That one guy, he has the right. One guy has the right after doing his time to be freed into normal society, and he hopefully will be monitored for some time to come. But if you have Joe Soap, vigilante, sure, he'll be shot 12 times a day.
Yeah, but you know that, I know that. But at the end of the day, Joan,
yeah.
No matter which way you look at it, they have to be targeted.
Oh, absolutely.
These have to, because there's no way on this earth to see a young child be destroyed by an animal like that.
I agree with you. It's one of the most...
I mean, I honestly, John, I agree with you 1,000,000%, John, what you're saying.
Yeah.
But these people, because I'm a married man, I have my own children, my own grandchild, and God forbid if one of them went near my grandchild. And I'll tell you now, and I'm not being blowing me cool, there'll be no courts or no policeman to stop me from getting to him.
Well, you see, that's the part that worries me, because, you see, you'd end up in jail then, you see.
Well, I tell you, Joan, in all honesty, I would end up in jail. I'd serve me life, because I'd know that bastard was off the street.
Yeah, but wouldn't you be far better off if you faced him or got the guards...
Use the language, by the way.
...where he was and let them deal with it.
But look at Joan, every day of the week, they're appearing in court, you don't see it in the paper, you don't hear it. They get slaps on the wrist and sent off, and the social workers are housing them and giving them apartments here, apartments there. They're actually put into areas that people don't even know they're living beside animals like that.
Let me go to line 1, and that is Samantha. You're on FM104. Samantha, how are you?
Hi, Adrian. How are you?
Grand, thank you, Samantha. Now, it's Joan you wanted to disagree with, is it?
Yes, because I believe that we should have this register. I used to work in Donnybrook, okay, and there was a sex offender in the area, and we all knew who he was. And the reason for that was that if one of his conditions of bail was that he was not allowed to go into Herbert Park and be around children, and we knew who he was. So if he was found in the park, we could report it to the police. If you don't know who he is, you don't know who's in the park with the kids.
Yes, but is that not the job of our police force to make sure that he does abide by his bail conditions?
Adrian, if you have to have somebody following somebody around 24/7, you need about 24 policemen for one.
But is it the job of you and I to monitor these people?
No, but it's not a case of monitoring them. It's a case of that if you're in the park and you know who is a paedophile, you then can look out for that person. If you don't know who the paedophile is, you're not going to have 12 policemen walking around.
Well, there you are, Joan. We need to know what they all look like, basically.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense. I mean, an active paedophile, okay, but if that's the case, then you might sort of announce this evening, tonight in your programme, everybody living out there in Dublin, in the hinterland, you've got to be on your guard, because you see a new website's going to come up, and on the law of averages you'll find, accordingly as people are thinking, a paedophile in every area. Now, we had a number of very serious paedophiles in the sporting world, and they were dealt with, which was very good. People reported them, but when they were caught, that was the job of the police or the Gardaí. But when they were released, it's not the job, I believe, of the ordinary Joe Soap. It should be a special branch people. They should not be out if they continue to be a danger. Otherwise, as I said, nobody would sleep in their beds at night. And I don't believe that any Gardaí would turn around and say, hey, listen, society, you're going to be the new vigilante group. We'll tell you where...
Isn't that, Samantha, isn't that the risk with something like this? And as we said already, a case in America where a guy was beaten to within inches of his life just because he happened to resemble somebody who was a child abuser. We all have a double.
Yeah, look, there is a chance of... This guy was never attacked. He was never beaten up. He was never physically harmed by anybody. But when he used to come around to the shop, and he wasn't allowed to be there at lunchtime when the children came out of school. So if we saw him, we could then report him for being there, and he would be moved along. But if you don't know who you're dealing with, I mean, I would rather know that Joe Soap is living next door to me, that I can keep an eye out for him, that he doesn't come anywhere near my children, than not know that Joe Soap is next door.
Yes, but life wouldn't be worth living anymore for you. I mean, did this guy reoffend again, ever?
I don't know. I wasn't sure about the original case.
You see, sometimes what you could detect from a website, that a guy who has been safely released, rehabilitated, continues to be a danger when he may not. So, as Adrian said, we all have a look-alike. How many times was that guy we were talking about earlier on reported living here, you'd frighten the wits of people. It has to be done with a bona fide group of people, and if we are to have a website, it's going to change society very much, and accordingly we would have to have the vigilante group among the law and order, the Guardian.
Okay, so the point she's making is that having a website like this is getting us, the public, to do the job that the police should be doing.
Adrian, we do not have a big enough police force.
But we don't have
to them.
Yes, but Adrian, we don't have a huge number of serious paedophiles.
We've enough, Joan.
Yeah, all right.
We've enough.
What is a paedophile?
Yeah.
How serious do they have to be?
No, but let me correct that. We don't have a huge, serious number who've been released regarded as safe in society.
Joan, the sad reality is, given the opportunity, none of them are ever safe.
Well,
there's a chance that they will all reoffend.
Well, no, that's not conclusive. They are monitored. They have psychologists, psychiatrists in the prisons checking them out. There was, I remember some discussion that there wasn't enough rehabilitation done. That's vitally important. Otherwise, you don't let one of them out. And, I don't think that we have heard too many cases where those that were released safely did reoffend a number of times. I don't think we have that great number. But if we start to look at things the way we're told now, we would be regarding every one of them totally dangerous, whereas that may not be quite accurate.
Well, if I come across somebody who has offended once, trust me, I will be very, very wary of them.
How will you know that? How will you know that information?
Well, somebody needs to tell me that.
Yes, but the guards will know. I mean, unless you go to the guards and say, hey, can you tell me what guy is being released, what guy will reoffend? You're not going to get that information.
But that's why it should be on a website, so that I can know, so that I can keep my kids away from them.
But if that's the case, then there are people who are injurious to adults, people crime. Report them all. Have society where we all look up every night, instead of looking at Coronation Street, we look at the website and say, oh, God, we've got 6 in our area. Have you got 6? I've got 10. Go here to that. That would make sense.
Christy, you're on FM104. How are you, Christy?
How are you, Adrian?
Grand, thanks, Christy. Now, what did you want to say on this?
Well, I think, realistically, what I am doing is way out of touch here. Everybody that's raising a child should have the right to know who's living next door to them, and especially sex offenders. And more important, they should do what they done with your man that got out of prison there last year. They should highlight everybody and name and shame them who's getting out of prison. No matter where they're living, let them know that they're getting out of prison.
Yes, well, I actually agree with you on that. I mean, it was only by the grace of God that Larry Murphy's case was covered by the media. Had that not, he'd have just walked out of prison and nobody would have known.
Well, come here for a minute. Like, you really think now Joan is on a different planet? But I think they should. The guards know, the courts know, the law know. The law is they're guilty until they're proven innocent. Now, if they're in Arbor...
No, they're they're innocent until they're proven guilty.
Okay, sorry.
That's our law here in Ireland.
Okay, but when they walk out of Arbor Hill, they're guilty. They're after serving their time for the crime.
Yes.
Now, every one of them should be named and shamed, and there should be the media outside on the telly and let people know, even if they're not going into their area.
Okay, no, I actually agree with you on that. I think there should be a lot more coverage about the release of sex offenders from prison. Absolutely. And would that be enough, though? Do we need to go down the road? If we had that situation where there was a lot more coverage of the releases, like there was around Larry Murphy. Now, obviously, it was a very high profile case and whatever. But at least from the Larry Murphy case, everybody now, anybody who followed the story knows what he looks like.
Yeah, that's grand. But wouldn't it be good for the future? Isn't that a start? Wouldn't that be a start? You know what I mean?
John, what about that? That there should be a lot more coverage about the release of sex offenders from prison.
Oh, I certainly would agree. I mean, look at all the swimming, the sportsmen, but some of them, of course, went over to America, and the threat there is that they may not know over there where they are. I think there's one guy that was highlighted on the Miriam O'Callaghan show recently with that sports swimmer, and he did a very good topic on it. But have we got that vast number of them?
Okay, the point, Christy, that Joan is making is, yes, we do have sex offenders. Everybody knows that. One of the problems, excuse me, that we do have here in Ireland, and it's just something that's after dawning on me this minute, there are many, many court cases where, if it involves a child particularly, the abuser will not be named in order to protect the identity of the child.
That's right.
So, if that person were released from prison, Christy, we still couldn't name him. In the media, we couldn't name him.
That's fine, but Joan was saying earlier on about high media people that's in sports and all that, which we all know.
Yeah.
Them from being on the telly. But what about the unknown?
But the point that I'm trying to make to you, Christy, is because of the laws that we have in this country with regard to protecting the rights of a child, we, in many, many, many cases involving child sex abuse, never know the name of the abuser because it's against the law for us as journalists to report his name.
Okay, so, well, back to the law again. What the law can do and what the law can't do. Now, that should be brought to the parents. Now, no matter what happens, whether that abuser is named and shamed and the child is brought into it, that child for the rest of his life has to live with the abuse of that person. So he should go to the parents and say, look, if you want this child abuser or whatever, rapist or whatever, brought to book and his name be mentioned and publicised, they have to go to the parents or change the law, one or the other.
No, but I would agree that the parents would have to know if the abuser of their child was released, and they would...
Joan, I'm sure a lot of parents will be saying, I want his name mentioned, because if it happens and it goes to court, people around the area certainly know the child's name and they know the family.
Yes,
and a lot of people in them areas will support the family.
Yes, but you can't, by the law, you can't divulge publicly the name of the child, so you're caught no matter what. But once again, isn't the really main storyline that you're not released from being a child abuser unless there's 100,000% that you can be somehow rehabilitated? I would give them life. Without parole, without...
That's fine, Joan, that's fine. But you're sort of contradicting yourselves.
How?
What I'm saying is, if people are getting released from Arbor Hill Prison, convicted and done their time for child abuse...
And rehabilitated...
Well, they're not all rehabilitated, Joan, but go on anyway. Yes, go on, Christy.
No, they're not rehabilitated, far from it. No, they're not rehabilitated, Joan. Very few of them are rehabilitated.
Yeah, but that was...
Everyone... Hold on, Joan.
Yeah.
Anybody that's convicted, if child molesting or rape, whether they're mentioned in the court case or not, should be high profile when they're getting released.
But you see, again, Christy, I have to stress this. If there was a case the other day of a former Christian brother, and this case is on down in Limerick at the moment, okay? And this former Christian brother is charged with 100 and odd charges from the late 80s, right? Now, it was requested by his solicitor that he not be named in court. The reason the judge ruled that out of order and he was named in court, was named in the media, is because the cases are so old. They date back to the 80s, okay? But if somebody appears in court tomorrow, charged with the most disgusting charges against a child, Christy, and I want you to just listen to it. If he's charged with the most disgusting charges against a child, he will not be named in the media, he will not be named publicly in order to protect the child. It's not to protect him, it's to protect the child. So that protection of that child stays in place even when he's released from prison. So he can walk back out of prison... he can walk back out of prison and his name not be released. So, because our law is obviously very different from America. So he gets released. We still have no right to know his name.
Okay, so you're saying that. So in an actual fact, putting a thing on the internet is a waste of time, isn't it?
I think so. If you're talking about child abusers, yes.
It's going to contradict one another.
Yeah, but see, we're talking about for America have it and asking us. That's the reason why we probably don't have it at the moment.
Okay, let me just bring in what
Their laws need to change, and we need, as a country and human beings, to protect their kids against these animals.
Okay, well, I want to just read, we're talking about protecting our children. I want to just read a posting that was put up on our Facebook page a couple of minutes ago, and it says, a few of the people here saying we should do it to protect our children. I agree with you, but a good start in protecting your children would be to remove the pictures you post of them online instead of making them your profile picture, says a guy, Evan. We did a quick poll of people who are on our Facebook page. We looked around on the people who were on our Facebook page, and around 1/5 of people who are on our Facebook page have their children as part of their profile picture, either with them or the kids on their own in some cases, as their profile picture. And the question I want to ask you, simple question, I want to just run a very quick snap poll right now. 53104 is our text number. Do you think it is wrong to have children on a profile picture on Facebook? I've just been looking at a few in the last couple of minutes, and one or two of them are just kids on their own. One or two of them are beautiful shots of kids on their own, but they're still kids on their own. So I want you to text yes or no. Do you think it is wrong to have photographs of children as your profile picture on Facebook? Okay, I don't need to be a friend of half these people to look at the photograph of their kids if I'm that way inclined. Just text yes or no to 53104. Is it wrong to have a profile picture of kids on Facebook? You just text yes to 53104. Or if you don't agree that it's wrong, you text no to 53104. Okay, so my question once again is, do you think it is wrong to have children in profile pictures on Facebook? Just text yes, you think it's wrong, or no, you don't think it's wrong, to 53104. I'd be very interested to hear what you have to say, because as I said, about 1/5 of people that post on our Facebook here have children in their Facebook profile picture. So once again, do you think it is wrong to have children in a Facebook profile picture? Just text yes or no to 53104. I'd be really interested to hear what you say on this. Kevin, you're on FM104. How are you, Kevin?
How are things?
Grand. Now, Kevin, you've been listening to what's been said here. Can you understand, for example, why our law prevents us from naming not juvenile offenders, sorry, well, it does prohibit us from naming juvenile offenders as well, but also prevents us from naming child abusers in an awful lot of cases. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I do. I think it prevents more crime, to be honest. I know that I don't know, maybe I'm ignorant, but I think that the amount of real offenders isn't actually that high, which says to me that the guards are doing a good job monitoring this on their own. I don't think there's a need to put a website up that has pictures of these people and their addresses, which is going to lead to people going...
Yeah, I mean, on this American website, it gives their specific address.
That's ridiculous. Like, that's given somebody... just an example, I hung around with a lad years ago. I have a 4-year-old daughter now, and, well, I found out only recently that he had been arrested and charged for possession of child porn.
Right.
Now, I know for a fact he doesn't live at home, and the lads that were hanging around with him when he was caught, they don't know where he is either. But I know for a fact that some of the lads that were with him that have children, if they knew where he was, they would go to his address and they'd beat the crap out of him. Now, not only that, that's that lad after getting a hiding, and it's also whichever lad went and found him and done it, that's that guy now in risk of criminal charges for assault. Fair enough, like, I know he done the crime, he didn't get a jail term, he got a suspended sentence, but which angered them even more. But if they knew where he was, they would definitely go and find him. Which is going to lead to four lads or whatever it is, going to get an assault charge against them. Or the lads that maybe their house will be attacked. There's there's just so many different...
Okay, well, stay there for 1 second, Kevin. I want to bring you back in a second. Just send me a very quick text on what we're talking about. We're asking whether or not it is right or wrong to have children on Facebook profile pictures? The question I'm asking is, do you think it is wrong to have children on Facebook profile pictures? You text the word yes or no. Yes, you think it's wrong, or no, you don't think it's wrong. Now, at this moment, believe it or not, 78% of you don't think it's wrong at all. Don't see what the problem is. Don't see a problem with having children on Facebook profile pictures. Just text yes or no to 53104. The question once again is, do you think it is wrong to have children on profile pictures on Facebook? Text yes or no to 53104. Somebody who just commented, I'm just looking at your profile picture on Facebook, and it's a cute little child. No adult at all in the picture, in fact. Is that right, or is that just people's filthy minds that thinks there's anything wrong with this? Yes or no to 53104. Now, sorry, just to go back to Kevin for a second. Sorry, Christy. The point he's making is that you could lead to vigilante activity. That's really what you're saying, Kevin, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, I tell you, Adrian, come here. Vigilantism is going around a long, long time. I mean, we had it with drug dealers years and years ago, and they done it and they dealt with it as far as they could. But we're in a different era now, and abuse of kids and rape of women is going on a lot longer than we have computers and the internet.
Yes.
So it's an ongoing thing. So even what you're saying there about the photographs with kids and all, like that's to me now, that's sort of immaterial. It doesn't take away the fact that if people look at pictures that, if you're a friend of theirs on the internet or whatever, that they've dirty minds. These people, no matter what, need to be named and shamed. Now, if they can't do it during the court case, my point is, when they're getting released, it should be highlighted.
I know, but you still have that same difficulty. Let's imagine somebody is jailed. I'll just give you this as an example. They're jailed for having sexual contact with a 5-year-old. Let's say that. And they serve 7 or 8 years in prison, and they're released from prison when the child is 12 or 13. The same rule still applies, Christy.
All right, Adrian, that's fine. But there shouldn't the courts or go back to the parents and say, look, this chap is getting out. Now, the courts are known for failing to letting people that have, people that are of the age is being raped. And the rapist has been let out, and 2 weeks later, these people are getting told, by the way, such and such a fella is after getting released. Now, they should go to the parents and say, this fella is he'll be let out in 6 months' time. Do you want his name released? It can't be released if the parents allow it to be released.
Okay, simple as that.
Can I just come in?
Yes, go on, Kevin, yeah.
You know, he just said there that they should be named and shamed. Named and shamed is one thing, but actually giving vigilantes the address of a convicted paedophile, that's a really, really bad idea. It's okay, even if you had a website that gave the lad's picture and his name, fair enough, there you go, he's named and shamed. But if beside that, to have that man's address, it's going to lead to all kinds of trouble. And you know that Ireland is a country where people have no problem taking issues into their own hands. Like, you know, that's what just gets done. If they don't want the guards involved, they'll look after it themselves. And what's going to happen is, if you give these people an address of a man, not only is that, like, fair enough, he might deserve it, but that's just going to lead to more crime and more people in prison that shouldn't be causing these crimes. And as I said, I think the reoffending is actually fairly low. The people they're let out and they actually reoffend is low, which says to me that the guards are doing a pretty good job monitoring the people. And
you think we should have more faith in our police force and leave them to it, basically?
Well, absolutely. Well, it doesn't seem to me as if they're doing a bad job. So why change it? Like, it's
okay. You feel that having a website like this would lead to witch hunts, would lead to, as you said yourself, guys petrol bombing people's houses and...
Adrian, let's just say you have children. If you knew that a man that had attacked your children, or one of your children, was living in a house, you had his exact address, can you honestly say that there's absolutely nothing you would do about it, or that the rape
No.
would actually cause you to go? And
Yeah,
you know
no, I agree with you. All right.
know?
Look, I'm going to have to wrap it up, Kevin. Thanks very much indeed for your comment. Sorry, I actually read that poll wrong a moment ago. Here's the result of that very quick snapshot poll where we asked you, is it wrong to have children on Facebook profile pictures? And 78% of you actually said, yes, it is wrong. This is something I think we might come back to tomorrow night on the programme. 78% of you said it is wrong to have children on Facebook profile pictures.